Ernest Gordon's To End All Wars is a moving example of how Christians can shape culture even amid unimaginable circumstances. Gordon was a prisoner in one of the cruelest places on earth, a squalid and terrifying World War II Japanese prison camp called Chunkai. Chunkai was filthy, disease-ridden, and inhumane. Prisoners frequently died from starvation, disease, overwork, beatings, shootings, beheadings, or hopelessness. One man, Dusty, was mockingly hung on a tree to die like the Savior he professed. Deprived of their humanity, the prisoners adopted a beastly survival of the fittest mindset. Death meant nothing, and life meant little more. Gordon, a member of the elite Scottish Highlanders, described it this way: death called to us from every direction. It was in the air that we breathed and the food that we ate, the things we talked about. The rhythm of death obsessed us with its beat, a beat so regular, so pervasive, so inescapable that it made Chunkai a place of shadows in a dark valley. But two events, according to Gordon, changed everything. First, word spread of a prisoner who, in the name of Christ, offered his own food and stayed by the side of his bunkmate to nurse him back from the brink of death. His bunkmate survived, but he did not. In the second incident, a guard threatened to randomly execute the prisoners serving a work detail until someone confessed to stealing a missing shovel. A Christian stepped forward and confessed, saving the lives of others. He lied, by the way, and that's the right, proper use of lying, but that's it for another day. The enraged guard beat the man, crushing his skull. The others watched in horror, helpless to assist the man who had given his life for theirs. A later recount showed no shovels missing. From a purely pragmatic viewpoint, these deaths were a foolish waste, but in the camp they led to a new attitude of you first rather than me first. Christian volunteers changed gangrenous bandages and bathed hideous wounds. Life regained some of its meaning. Even the experience of death changed as prisoners stopped piling bodies, instead electing chaplains to conduct honorable funerals for the fallen. Out of this restored humanity grew a stunning culture. The prisoners formed a library and taught courses in everything from math to philosophy to languages. They staged plays. Having retrieved 6 violins from a vandalized relief shipment, they formed an orchestra and held concerts. The overall camp conditions had not changed. Frightful diseases still claimed lives. Food was still scarce and nauseating, but the culture had changed. Sacrifice had brought meaning out of misery. Gordon wrote, "Death was still with us, no doubt about that. But we were slowly being freed from its destructive grip. We were seeing for ourselves the sharp contrast between the forces that made for life and those that were, in those that made for death. Selfishness, hatred, envy, jealousy, greed, self-indulgence, laziness, and pride were all anti-life. Love, heroism, self-sacrifice, sympathy, mercy, integrity, and creative faith, on the hand, were the essence of life, turning mere existence into living in the truest sense." To be in that situation and to be able to say we were living in the truest sense. These were the gifts of God to men.